What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel. And today, finally, a day I've been waiting for. Literally the first time, at least on the channel, that I've been able to play with the Eagles. And in reality, outside of a botched rebuild that I started that ended up getting corrupt and I couldn't upload, it's really I've never put more than an hour playing with the Philadelphia Eagles in Madden 20. And it's a damn shame, man. I remember back when, before they won the Super Bowl, before they were like a powerhouse. I think when the game launched, when Madden launched, they were the highest overall team in the game. But it was fun playing as Eagles because there was a challenge to try to make them good again. But we're in this window, and I don't know when this window is going to end, and I'm fine with that when the Philadelphia Eagles are just way too overpowered to make enjoyable or intriguing content on the channel. But much like in Madden 19, in real life, they have, in my opinion, the best general manager in the National Football League in Howie Roseman, and they're able to make contracts work and do this and that, but that just doesn't translate over to Madden. So you are almost always in cap hell year 3 at least for the Philadelphia Eagles, so that is going to be a big challenge. And I wanted to do something. I want to do something just to spice up this rebuild. You see, we're taking on the Jags in the second preseason game, and you would think going to this game the storyline would be Carson Wentz going up against Nick Foles. But so before we officially get into the rebuild, I wanted to try something just a little bit different, adding a little mix of real life, adding a mix of what I've already experienced. I kind of did an Eagles rebuild already off camera. It was actually supposed to be an upload, but there's a lot of technical difficulties. And basically, the Philadelphia Eagles salary cap is filthy. It's just impossible to work with after year 1 and year 2. I mean, it is. You can work with it, but your team's going to be absolute garbage like year 3, 4, and 5 of the 5-year rebuild. So I made some experiments, stuff like that. I mean, when you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, they have Dallas Goedert versus Zach Ertz, who's like one of the highest paid tight ends. And then you go into the world of Jalen Ramsey wanting to get traded away from the Jacksonville Jaguars. And it really looks like the two big landing spots, if this trade ever comes to fruition before the deadline, is either going to be the Philadelphia Eagles or the Kansas City Chiefs. And the big blockbuster trade that got Jaguar fans finally happy, anyways, they're always like, give me 9 first-rounders because they constantly overvalue him, was maybe throwing a superstar of our own into the mix and flipping the tight end that is coming off a record-breaking single-season reception record for Jalen Ramsey. And to sweeten the pot, we're going to swing a guy like Big V, Hal Vaitai, who can start and probably be an upgrade to that Jaguars offensive line. So this is going to be the trade that we're going to start this rebuild with, Jalen Ramsey on the Philadelphia Eagles. So in taking the disgruntled Jalen Ramsey off the hands of the Jacksonville Jaguars in this new look Philadelphia Eagles team, damn straight it's new look. So we got Carson Wentz at quarterback, 83 overall with only a star dev. I mean, it is what it is. Should he be higher? I'm always going to be biased because I'm an Eagle fan, and I think that the people that work on the ratings team are biased against Carson Wentz, and I know Carson Wentz in particular. I've heard them talk about, quarterbacks and stuff like that, and it feels like, he wants this afterthought. Either way, we're going to make him good. We're going to make Carson Wentz good again. At the running back spot, we have Jordan Howard, who's going to be kind of our big power back. But in reality, what's his depth chart? Star? In reality, the value here is in Miles Sanders. Even though he has a normal dev, we're going to get him plenty of snaps here as a rookie. At wide receiver, we have Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson are our 2 top targets. However, for a rebuild, 29 and 32 years old are not great. These are contracts we're going to have to get off the books, unfortunately. Probably Deshaun sooner than later because that speed's going to go, but we're definitely going to give him a go here in year 1. Nelson Aguilar's in a contract year. Are we going to extend him? He's going to be 27, probably 82, 83 overall. So I'm looking Arcega-Whiteside needs to step up. He has a hidden dev trait, so get him some snaps here and there will be nice. But definitely wide receiver, thinking long-term in a 5-year rebuild. That's going to be a big-time position for the Philadelphia Eagles. The biggest change is at the tight end position, no more Zach Ertz. And people ask me, from time again, like, this was rumored that, maybe Philly, he'll take, Zach Ertz to get the trade done. And like, will it happen? I was like, from a roster standpoint, kind of makes sense. Because I think Dallas Goedert, if he gets, a tight end 1 number of snaps, I think, year 2, year 3, year 4, getting to the end of that rookie deal, he could probably get, his ceiling, in my opinion, is where Zach Ertz is at. I'm not saying he's going to break records like Zach Ertz, because that also takes 2 to tango, and that was just, a microcosm of the chemistry between Wentz and Ertz. Wentz would just throw it to Ertz more often than not last season. But I think from a talent standpoint, Dallas Goedert can be as good as Zach Ertz. So if you believe that, you could hypothetically justify moving a tight end, moving a piece that you have two valuable guys to grab a DB where our Phillies DBs aren't great. But however, if you bring it back to reality, I was like, this isn't Madden. Unfortunately, we could do this in Madden, but you know, moving a guy like Zach is probably gonna kill locker room chemistry. That's why we didn't slap the realistic rebuild on the title of this video. We're trying to do what's best for this Philadelphia Eagles team right now in our little world. So that is Dallas Goedert being our starting tight end. On the offensive line, we have Jason Peters, probably only have him for a year, but we have Andre Dillard, the first-round pick for the Philadelphia Eagles out of Washington State, sitting behind him. And actually, I'm going to get Dillard snaps at left guard instead of Isaac Seumalo, so he gets some playing time as a rookie. Kelsey at center's great, but he's also 31. Brandon Brooks is phenomenal, but he's 30. And we have Lane Johnson, who's awesome, huge fan of the channel, and he's 29. So this is a very old offensive line, and it's going to be tough to make some decisions if we ever get really close against that calorie sap or salary cap. If we get real tight, we already are really tight against that calorie sap. Let's make sure that we milk that tree and get some nice maple syrup for our pancakes. Anyways, we got Mailata at right tackle. He is a star dev. We have used him in a couple videos on the channel. Doesn't really develop that much. So we have some problems, man. It's a tough team. On the defensive side, so we have a nice piece here in Derek Barnett, who should be one of the faces of this defense. Brandon Graham, also pretty good, but he's 31, very old. I'm not going to lie, if there's one player that on the defense that I'm close to cutting, it's because we have Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat's sitting behind. We have a young guy that's just, he's not going to get snaps as long as Brandon Graham's there. And I think a guy like Josh Sweat, along with Derek Barnett, can be our future defensive ends for the Philadelphia Eagles. At D-tackle, we got Fletcher Cox, best D-tackle not named Aaron Donald. He's 96. He is 28, so the age is not phenomenal. They got Malik Jackson on the ugly contract, when in reality, I think Timmy Jernigan is the better player. So we got a lot of decision-making here. We got Camus, Nigel Bradham, and Zach Brown at linebacker. Again, all fairly old. Like, maybe Camus could be a long-term piece. He is 25. Bradham's absolutely not. Zach Brown's absolutely not. You look at the secondary, we got Jalen Ramsey. Now, that's the face of the defense. You throw in Darby, he's only here on a one-year deal. We'll probably let him walk, so it makes it, a lot more easier to re-sign Jalen Ramsey. Sidney Jones, in real life, kind of starting to look like a bust a little bit. Struggles to stay healthy, but he should be good in this. We got a Maddox who looks nice. You already know what we do with Jalen Mills on the channel, right? You already know what we do with Jalen Mills. We take Jalen Mills and we move him to free safety. And that should help us with some salary cap stuff next season. Cravon LeBlanc's good. Rasul Douglas has actually probably been Philly's best corner this year in real life. Skandrick, yeah, whatever. Here's some more guys. I'm doing this right away. Piece of shit. He's gone. We got Malcolm Jenkins, 31. Again, man, this team is so old. Like, it's a tough rebuild. You might be the whole C4's rebuild. The Eagles are like the best team. Yeah, this is. Give me 2 years down the line. I have no idea. I'm gonna be pulling. I got a buzzed head, but I'd be pulling my hair out if I had it. How to deal and get this team under the calorie sap. So let's do it, man. Rebuild of the Eagles. So as it comes out of the Week 10 bye against a huge Week 11 game at home against the Patriots, a game that, fingers crossed, I find my way to. Shout out to anyone else that might be listening to this that could be going to that game. Let me know. So we are second in the NFC East, 5 wins, 3 losses. We had a tie against the Minnesota Vikings. The Dallas Cowboys are 7-2. Am I worried? Absolutely not, because we're getting to the easy part of our schedule, man. I mean, we got 2 hard games and then cupcakes. So it's good. It's good balance. If we can get even 1-1 between the Seahawks and the Patriots, I'll be fine. Look at that contract. So we have Jason Peters up here first. I'm going to wait and see with him just because he is very old. Like, how much money do we have in salary cap? Wow. We do not have a whole lot. We can literally re-sign one guy. So let's start looking down the line. Who is, like Camus? I'd like to have Camus stay on the team. So we got him. I think Jalen Mills could be an answer at safety for us, maybe. Maybe not. Like Jordan Howard. I like the combination of Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders. I just don't think we could justify giving Jordan Howard that kind of money. This is tough. Tim Jernigan at D tackle. He's 26 though, so he's getting up there in age a little bit. Okay, let's see. Can we swing Jalen Mills and Tim Jernigan? So we got Jalen Mills. What about you, Timmy? 2 years, 6.8. He wants that. Jesus. What if we give you a 3-year deal? Ah. All right. Well, you know, it's the way she goes. It's the way she goes. Philadelphia Eagles salary cap. It's what makes this rebuild so damn difficult. And at the end of year 1, we squeak into the playoffs, but it is not going to get any easier as we have to go to CenturyLink Field, the home of the alleged 11th man, to take on the 10-5-1 Seattle Seahawks. Oddly enough, I mean, Madden ties are kind of weird. Second place in the NFC East behind the Cowboys. We already know they're going to be one and done if this is anything like real life. So let's take a look at our quarterback, Carson Wentz. It was fine, 3,900 yards, 29 touchdowns, 211 interceptions. And he got a lot of his touchdowns. And he got 3, I think, Offensive Player of the Weeks for like, I think he got 15 of these touchdowns over 3 weeks. So, I mean, you know, it is what it is. He's not going to play well in the sim because of the powers that be. We ran the ball fairly well between our 2 running backs here. Booby Sanders, 700 yards, 8 touchdowns. We got 612 from Jordan Howard. Carson Wentz, 280 and 2 on the ground. Receiving Alshon, 72 for 940 and 9, 740 and 6 from Philly Goddard. We went 704 from the rookie Arcega-Whiteside, 670 and 2 from Deshaun Jackson. Almost 400 yards on the ground, or through the air for Miles Sanders as well. Just a lot of touchdowns spread out there. Defensively, Darby and Bradham of the team in tackles. We got 8 sacks, 12 TFLs for BG, 19 TFLs, 4.5 sacks for Fletcher Cox. Picks are up for the Philadelphia Eagles. 3 picks for McLeod, 3 for Darby, 3 for Maddox, 2 for Mills, 2 for Jenkins. And I guess Jalen Ramsey just made everyone else around him better and shut everyone down. Hopefully that's what that means, and not he sucks in our scheme. Yearly awards, Mitch. There you go. They make Mitchell Trubisky play good in Madden, but not Carson Wentz. Why? Anyways, offensive player of the year went to Mitchell Trubisky. Carson Wentz number 8. Defensive player of the year went to Eric Kendricks. We had nobody. Offensive rookie of the year went to Kyler Murray. Miles Sanders at number 2. Arcega-Whiteside at 5. Defensive rookie of the year, Byron Murphy. We had no one. QB Trubisky, Zeke. We didn't have anyone. Not really a lot of individual success, but we made the playoffs. That's all you need when you have a roster this talented. Now, if you can indulge me just a little bit, usually it's way too early to play gameplay, but I don't think I've actually played with the Eagles yet in Madden 20. So I'm going to indulge me a little bit. I want to play, Wentz, Deshaun Jackson, because we don't know how many of these guys are going to be returning. We still have Jalen Ramsey's massive contract that for whatever reason we're not allowed to negotiate because we traded for him, so they make us wait to the end of the year. We only get one option and one chance at things because Madden's stupid. So I'm going to hop into this game, just this game, and I want to experience the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, Jordan Howard breaks the ankles of 51. I hope that was Michael Kendricks. Can't confirm nor deny, but the Philadelphia Eagles get a opening drive tutty. That was gorgeous. That was gorgeous from a power back. Deshaun Jackson with maybe the best route he's ever ran in his life. That wasn't a straight line. Big time touchdown. The chemistry between him and Wentz is going to be huge. I love hitting that, man. I don't know if he's going to be on the team again next season. Depends how bad he regresses. That felt pretty damn good. Pretty damn nostalgic. Look at my Deshaun Jackson hanging up on the wall right now. Thing of beauty. Oh, there was a turnover from Seattle, and Miles Sanders takes it in for another score. Piloted on right now against Seattle. Oh, it worked again. That's the Deshaun Jackson route. That's the money route. Oh, he's phenomenal at that. He's so fast. I'm getting like Madden 10 vibes. Yeah, that felt good. Thank you for letting me get in some gameplay early. Going off almost 90% completion percentage. Carson Wentz hitting a couple touchdowns to Deshaun Jackson. Miles Sanders going off. And we did enough to get the Philadelphia Eagles across that line against Seattle Seahawks and into the NFC divisional round. And I'll be honest with you, the team I never want to see in the playoffs until Drew Brees retires, The New Orleans Saints are who we have to take on to continue this playoff journey. Am I nervous? Maybe a little bit. But, I mean, come on, they're old. Come on. Remember when Drew Brees almost won the MVP last year because he was old? That was stupid. So let's win this game. Let's win this game. We got Jason Peters. It's got to be his last hurrah. We've been getting some like brand new scenarios triggered that it was going to be his last hurrah. So it'd be nice to get one done for him as we're kind of slowing down here a little bit. Third quarter coming down to a halt. We tied up at 20 apiece with the entire game to play on the line for the fourth quarter. And it's not looking good for your Philadelphia Eagles as we are just struggling in the red zone mightily. But it's a 3-point game. If we get a stop, what's going on? All right, we could not get a stop. Very surprised that a Jim Schwartz defense could not get a stop. As here we go, man. Now things are going to get interesting. Now things pick up. Would have been nice to win the Super Bowl there. But, yeah, they make Carson Wentz play like dog shit in the sim, so he's never really going to have a big game. Then, that being said, to be completely honest, Drew Brees did have a big game. We just couldn't get the job done. Let's go into year 2. So, looking at our draft recap here in the first round, we got Tylan Wallace, wide receiver from OK State. We need that burner. We saw the value that Deshaun Jackson brought to this offense. So, hopefully he's not like the last big Oklahoma State wide receiver that busted like Justin Blackmon. Second round, we got Hamza Nasruddin, safety from Florida State. 68 has a hidden dev trait as well, more so can be groomed to be Malcolm Jenkins' successor. Third round, we got Jonathan Grenard, the outside linebacker from Florida, transfer from Maryland. I mean, we already know GM for the Philadelphia Eagles, graduated from Florida. He has a Florida Gator bias, much like myself. And he got that 71 hidden dev trait, one of the best value picks of day 2. From that, we got Devonta Smith, wide receiver from Alabama, 68. We got James Lynch, D-tack from Baylor. Here's the cheese pick, John Runyon. We already knew he was a hidden dev trait from when we drafted him in the Raiders, but come on, playing for the team that his dad became an icon for, had to make that move. And then we got Harrison Bryant, tight end from Florida Atlantic, just to come on and be our third tight end. Year 2 is here. Here is how the squad is shaping up on the offensive side of the ball. We got a lot of youth. Dillard taking over for Jason Peters, who retired. Siamalo, who's going to be our starting left guard. Hopefully that works out. That is the rest of the offensive line, still very good, but very old. On the skill position side of things, so we got Carson Wentz, who's an 87. Don't know what we're going to have to do to get him to go in dev trade. Hopefully it happens. Miles Sanders went from normal to star last season. He's 78. He's got to carry the load now with no more Jordan Howard. Alshon's an 85. Arcega-Whiteside's an 81. D-Jax has regressed here a little bit, down to an 80, but he's still valuable. But Tylan Wallace, we're at the slightly, come on. We got to put him ahead of him in the depth chart for now. It is what it is. We got to utilize. We basically have like the opposites in terms of age. Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson. Well, literally the exact opposite of Alshon in terms of, or similar than Alshon, is Arcega-Whiteside. Like they're the exact same style of receiver at different points of their career, old, young. Tylan Wallace, deep threat, very much like Deshaun Jackson. So I mean, they got a lot of great mentors here. When you look at the defense, not a lot has changed. I will say I want to try to move on from Malik Jackson's ugly contracts, like a $10 million cap hit, so that will be gone. John Grenard's going to be a starting outside linebacker, along with Bradham and Camus, who got a dev trait increase last season, only to a star. Jalen Mills is going to be our starting free safety. We'll see if that ever works. So, if you've ever listened to any of my Eagles videos, I usually pound the table that Mills should be moved from corner to safety. Jenkins is still doing his thing. Our secondary is of our superstar X Factor, Jalen Ramsey, Avonte Maddox, and Sidney Jones. So, we made the playoffs last year, got one playoff win, then got bounced from the divisional round by the New Orleans Saints. Want to see some better success this season. Halfway point of year 2, got to get with that checkbook for Jalen Ramsey. Wants a 5-year, $85 million deal, which is probably cheaper than what it's going to cost to get him in real life. As you can see, we're going to have to come back. It's probably going to take like 89 mil. Brandon Brooks, absolutely. As long as he's still playing, we definitely want to lock him up. Derek Barnett, for sure. 3-year deal. He wants more money. That's awesome. In the secondary, I mean, I personally think Rasul is better than Sidney Jones right now, but for Madden's sake, Sidney Jones is the better player with the dev trait. Oh, and of course, he wants to bend us over for more money. All right. Awesome. Good chat, the rest of the team. But we'll make sure we hammer out our deal with Jalen Ramsey for sure. At the end of year 2, while we were able to re-sign Jalen Ramsey, that was the only win of the year as we were 3rd in the division. Let me see. Carson Wentz get less than 30 times. Oh, he did get more than 30. Wow. Madden didn't make, like, the fact that Trubisky, you'll see Mariota win the MVP when you just sim. I don't think in my life, in Madden, I've done 120, I think franchise, like different I don't think I've ever seen Carson Wentz win the MVP. So we have the deck stacked against us there, but that's not a bad year. 4,100 yards, 32 touchdowns, 11 picks. We got Miles Sanders, 1,100 yards, 11 tutties. Looks pretty good as a lead back on the reception standpoint. 75 for 1,006 for Alshon, 950 and 9 Djax, 830 and 7 Goddard, almost 706 for Arcega-Whiteside. Defensively, Maddox led the team with 96 tackles. We had 10 sacks from Fletcher Cox, 18 TFLs. BG was fairly productive as well. Picks were down from a year ago. Of course, Jalen Ramsey. Oh, there you go. There's your Mitchell Trubisky win the MVP back-to-back years, because why not? Madden's dumb. Carson Wentz at number 10 there for Offensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Justin Herbert. We had nobody. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Monty Rice. John Grenard, number 4. Cool. Trubisky, I don't think we're going to have anyone at any of these awards, which we did not. Cool. Awesome, man. No individual. It's just a throwaway year. Throwaway year. Let's get to year 3. With our salary cap restrictions, pretty much unable to dip our toe into free agency. So as we go into year 3, we need to draft well, which we did, especially in the early round. So with our first pick at 19, we got Creed Humphrey, 74, hidden dev trade offensive lineman. He's a center, but he pretty much can play anywhere on the interior, which is huge. He can replace Brandon Brooks. He could replace Jason Kelsey. And for the time being, he could be our starting left guard. So that's a big get. Second round, we got Kennedy Brooks, talented running back from Oklahoma. Surprised to see him have a hidden dev trait, but I just wanted to bring in another back to try to get back to that committee approach, because even though Sanders looked good as a starter, you know, Doug Peterson, as long as he's our coach, he wants a committee, and I think a guy like Kennedy Brooks in the second round still brought a lot of value. Staying at Oklahoma, great pick in the third round, Charleston Rambo, 71 overall, another burner type wide receiver, a great compliment to what we have right now. Long term, I mean, we still have Alshon on the roster, but it's going to be looking like Arcega-Whiteside, Tylan Wallace, and Charleston Rambo will be our wide receiver core, and that is pretty damn good. Outside of that, we just got some solid depth. Fulele at left tackle, Lamont Wade at corner, Smoke Monday. His name is Smoke Monday. The safety from Auburn in the 6th round, and then just a linebacker, Peyton Wilson from NC State. But 3 home run hidden dev trait picks for your Philadelphia Eagles as we get ready for year 3. As we kick off year 3 the best way we hopefully can with a week 1 victory at Jerry World over the Cowboys. Here's how our team shapes up: 87 overall, 88 offense, 87 defense. Miles Sanders is now up to a superstar running back. Hopefully we can get the X Factor trait. He's very close to being an 86 overall. Wentz here, 89, should be in the 90s when all is said and done. When you look at the offense, we are going to go down to the depth chart and make a change, because I want Creed Humphrey to actually be our starting left guard over Isaac Seumalo. So we'll make that one change there. Other than that, the offense is pretty much the exact same offense we had before. Arcega-Whiteside, Tylan Wallace, Charleston Rambo, and Alshon Jeffrey are going to be our wide receivers. Dallas Goedert's up to an 86 overall. We'd like to see him continue to grow. There is a little bit of pressure for him to pick up the production that Zach Ertz would have left when he got traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars. On the defensive side, everything here, you know, familiar faces. BG still doing his thing. Malik Jackson's still here. Jalen Ramsey's now up to a 99 overall. Avonte Maddox and Sidney Jones are his corner mates. Nazrul Dean's taken over for Malcolm Jenkins. We just could not lock down a long-term extension with him. Grenard, hidden dev trait, turned out to be a star. It is what it is, but a guy, get a star, 80 overall linebacker at 23. That's pretty big for us right now. Bradham's getting old. Probably going to need to get his replacement sooner than later. But Camus also going up a dev trait. I don't know when, Super Bowl week? Super Bowl week, cool. So that's awesome. He's turned out to be a great signing at outside linebacker. And Jalen Mills here as a 77 overall free safety. So optimism is high. We'll be able to bounce back and get to the playoffs yet again in year 3 with the Eagles. I'm just going to be completely clear. I'm popping in and playing a game because we got Charleston Rambo, got a breakout scenario, and Miles Sanders with X Factor on the line. He wants to 4 touchdowns or 200 yards rushing, receiving. Both doable here against a porous Giants defense. So we're going to hop in and try and get some dev traits for both Charleston Rambo and Miles Sanders. As you can see, week 6 got the victory. There's no way we were missing out on 2 opportunities here, especially to get an X Factor. So Rambo is now gone from a star to a superstar. And Mr. Miles Sanders, this was actually pretty damn tough to get. Basically 350 yards from scrimmage with 2 players. But we got Booby up to an X Factor playmaker as we go to 4-2 on the season. Coming up from the week 9 bye, we got some contracts to talk about for this 6-2 Eagles squad. You want to try and keep the offensive line together as long as we can. So we got Lane, we got Kelsey, both those guys locked up. Philly Goddard, absolutely need him locked up. Maddox has been a really, really good corner for us. This is going to start getting tight. BG can go. Josh Sweat can take over him. Alshon's time is coming to the end. Like, we need to make sure we can get Josh Sweat back. But I feel like he can definitely step up for Brandon Graham. Mills, for the time being, is an okay safety. So we got him locked up. So really, when it comes down to it, we want to hammer out a deal for Avonte Maddox. And other than that, it's like the first offseason we had here in year 1 of the rebuild. Big transitionary period, losing a lot of familiar faces for the Eagles, but it's what you got to do to make the salary cap work. At the end of year 3, we got a first round bye, our first NFC East title. Just having whatever tiebreaker we needed over the Dallas Cowboys. So it's been the 3 long years, but at least we get back to the playoffs and we got a bye. And it's, Madden, we'd be dead ass honest with you. It's kind of rare that you get a bye with just 11 wins. Looking at the contracts, Wentz finally having an insane year, 4,000 passing yards, 39 touchdowns to 8 picks. We have Miles Sanders, our new superstar X-Factor running back, 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns. Brooks and Wentz also chipped in. Receiving, Tylan Wallace, breakout year, 82 catches, 1,100 yards, 13 tutties, 707 for Arthego-Whiteside, 650 and 4 for Goddard, 550 and 5 from Sanders, 7 touchdowns from Rambo. This is a potent offense. Camus, 112 tackles. We got 8.5 sacks Fletch, 8 sacks BG, 6 for Bradham, 6 for Barnett, who also went from a star to a superstar this season. On the picks front, Sidney Jones with 3. Man, how many picks has Jalen Ramsey had since we've had him on our team? We had him for 3 years, 2 picks. And I guess he's just locked down. That's the excuse to use for Patrick Peterson. We'll use it for Jalen Ramsey. He's just locked down. Yearly awards MVP went to Deshaun Watson. Carson Wentz coming in at number 4. In the NFC, Wentz at number 1. Oh, please let me get a dev trait for him. No way he should be staying at a star after all that. Defensive player, they went to Khalil Mack. Camus at number 10. Offensive rookie, they went to Trevor Lawrence. Rambo at 2. Kennedy Brooks at 3. So we had some big-time rookies for us here for the Philadelphia Eagles. QB went to Herbert. Tylan Wallace got best wide receiver for the Eagles. That could be a depth trait bump for him. But we got that first round bye as we await whom we will be taking on in the NFC divisional round. It is going to be the 10-5-1 Seattle Seahawks, a team that we've already beat for our lone playoff win of the rebuild. Okay, can we find a way to stop Russell Wilson at home? Let's hope Carson Wentz, who has hopefully an impending dev trade upgrade coming, can do that in a big-time battle. Seattle and the Saints are probably the 2 teams, as an Eagle fan, I do not like seeing. For whatever reason, Russell Wilson always goes off against the Philadelphia Eagles. Because the whole Eagles defensive scheme is about getting pressure on the quarterback, and he can evade pressure like any like he's probably as good as any quarterback in the league. And it looks like neither team's playing defense, as it's 38-38. We're looking good here, though. There you go. Whatever team had the ball last was going to win that game. Wentz 90% completion percentage, 330, 3 touchdowns, 111 rushing yards from Miles Sanders, as the Eagles, in an absolute shootout, survive the Seattle Seahawks 45-38 and move on to the NFC Championship game. We're going to have to do it all. Exercise some demons. Beat the 2 teams, as an Eagle fan, I never want to see really in the playoffs. Started with Seattle. We got the job done. Now it's against the Saints, who had the best record in the NFL. So we have that working for us. Usually the top team, #1 seed, struggles in the sim. As you can see right now, they are struggling immensely. We jump up to a 21. We have a 3-touchdown lead going into the second half. How are we going to choke this one away, huh? By doing absolute fuck all to open up the second half. That's unbelievable. Come on. I'm coming in. I'm Papa Bear. I'm not losing. I'm not losing a game that is so bipolar like that. 3rd and 1. Give me Miles Sanders. Give me Miles Sanders or give me death. Look at all the star playmakers on this team. A first down will seal the victory for your Eagles. Miles Sanders takes it up. Big gainer. 110 yards. He's been dominant here in these playoffs, but we're not losing this one. We're going to lose the Super Bowl, so be it. I'm not going to play the Super Bowl yet. It's only year 3. But at least we made a Super Bowl as we knock off the Saints 24-21. They had young QB Justin Herbert there. Obviously, no more Drew Brees, which definitely is good for us Eagle fans. So let's go to Super Bowl. Super Bowl time, and it is Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens that stand between us and our second ever franchise title. I mean, Lamar's dangerous. He's absolute dangerous in this game, but I think I like Carson Wentz and this defense to figure it out. And we're playing very well. 21-13 is the score at half, so we're playing with the lead. And our defense is playing pretty damn good. 24-13 entering the 4th quarter. A touchdown would be massive. We get it 31-13. Just don't choke it. Just do not choke it. And look, classic Doug Peterson. You have the Super Bowl. You could play passive and run it. You could see with the chunk yardage, we aired the ball out. And he gets his 2nd Super Bowl title as the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz this time leads this team to glory. Gets that Nick Foles shadow that's been casted behind him ever since Nick Foles led the Eagles to a Super Bowl over the New England Patriots. Wentz finally has his own. That's going to be a big battle, though. I feel like if we make the playoffs, we go to the Super Bowl again. Probably not the last time we see this Baltimore Ravens squad. Lamar Jackson is very good, but there we go, man. Successful rebuild. I love the fact that we have 2 years at hand with the Eagles. Carson Wentz, your MVP, 4 touchdowns. For the love of God, give him a dev trade increase. There's Jalen Ramsey dapping him up. But we still got 2 more years to try to win a couple more Super Bowls here with the Philadelphia Eagles. I will state, I haven't already started this whole thing by saying I kind of did a rebuild for the Eagles earlier that didn't work out. We'll tell you, I didn't win a Super Bowl during that rebuild. That unaired rebuild that's buried down in the depths, underground, never to be seen with like the E.T. Nest game or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, as Carson Wentz hoists this Super Bowl, I'll tell you that I've done one Eagles rebuild before. Didn't win any Super Bowls, was too damn tough. And we already achieved that here today with 2 more years to try to make this into a dynasty. But Wentz was phenomenal. Miles Sanders dominated throughout all 3 playoff games, over 100 yards in all those games. So now let's make this team into a dynasty. Bullshit! Super Bowl MVP, Offensive Player of the Week, 2 Super Bowl wins, Offensive Player of the Year. Couple made Pro Bowl, Offensive Player, no dev trade increase. Go fuck yourself, Madden. This is complete bias against Carson Wentz. Because we have a lot of impending free agents, like our young players next season, I'm only going to make one low-key signing. He's still chilling here. Calais Campbell, I wanted to come play D-tackle next to Fletcher Cox for 1 season, 1 more ride. So hopefully we can land him. For our draft, after landing Calais Campbell in free agency, okay draft. First round, we got Corvaris Crouch, linebacker from Tennessee, 65 with a hidden dev trade. Gonna take a little bit to develop him. We got George Pickens, wide receiver from Georgia, 68 overall. Kevin Harris, Eric Swenson, Jeffrey Carter going double dipping with a couple of Alabama prospects. Patrick Herbert, Justin Herbert's brother, and Darryl Mack, mobile quarterback from UCF. Overall, though, not a great draft, but it's tough when you're picking with the last pick because you won the Super Bowl. Before defending our crown, look at that. First 4 weeks, Dallas twice, New York and Washington once. So that's huge implications for the division here as our 89 overall squad comes in. Carson Wentz will have to murder someone to get a dev trade increase, apparently. But our offensive line looks really, really good. A mix of young and old. Dillard and Humphreys, the future. Kelsey, Brooks, and Johnson. The old guard that's still very, very much elite. Philly Goddard should hopefully hit 90 overall. We have Tylan Wallace and Rambo. Both have superstar dev traits. Arthego Whiteside, the leader of the group. Miles Sanders up to an X factor. He should get into the 90s. On the defensive side of the ball, we have Derek Barnett, who's a superstar. We welcomed Calais Campbell in free agency along with Fletcher Cox, Jalen Ramsey, Sidney Jones, Maddox, Nasruddin, all looking good. We're actually going to give Crouch the start at middle linebacker and try to maximize that depth trade. Look at this, Camus getting a superstar. Carson Wentz can't buy one, and they just won't stop giving Camus X factors. He's a zone. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. He's a dope player. But come on, man. Come on. Let's go year 4. From the bye here in year 4, week 8, we got the Texans ahead, but we're 3-3. We did not make it. We did not run that gauntlet, that NFC East gauntlet to start the season very well. We lost to the Cowboys both times, and then we won against the Redskins and Giants. But looking at contracts here as we try and maintain pace for the season. Fletcher Cox wants a 1-year deal. We will oblige. Same with Jason Kelsey. I want you here for the entire rebuild. That'd be awesome. Don't retire. Miles Sanders. That is a ridiculously cheap contract for an X-Factor running back, so absolutely. Brandon Brooks, let's keep the band together. Arcega-Whiteside is a really dynamic wide receiver who, honestly, he's probably the least important guy that we re-sign. We got the entire OL locked up. Because we do have a decent chunk of cash still left, we will re-sign and extend Arcega-Whiteside. But look at that, man. A lot of the veterans, they're going here for the full ride, the full 5 years. And the season after winning a Super Bowl, we're dog shit. Not even 6-10. Hey, we needed something to take the record of the worst ensuing season for winning a Super Bowl in Rebuild channel history. This takes the cake. Carson Wentz played very well, though. 4,000 yards, 35 touchdowns, 13 picks. Sanders, our run game was definitely down a little bit. Man, that's big for Wentz. Almost 40 touchdowns. 40 touchdowns on the year. Cool. Probably no dev trade increase, but still pretty cool. Rambo over 1,000 yards. Arcega-Whiteside almost 1,010. Goddard was good. Wallace was fine. Defensively, Camus was a tackle machine. Fletcher Cox, 13 sacks. Calais Campbell, definitely a nice role player, nice veteran role player here. Picks were down. My God. Has any, Jag fan ever... Is Jalen Ramsey just not this good in the sim? Yearly awards, MVP went to Justin Herbert. Wentz at number 10. That's sympathy. That's a sympathy. Let's go to year 5, man. This is garbage. Okay. So, let's see. Brandon Brooks and Lane Johnson both retired. Carson Wentz, back-to-back 40 touchdown seasons. Didn't go up in dev trade. Cool. K. Cool. Awesome. Sweet. Awesome. And into year 5, I want to try to make 2 big splash moves. First up, Jonah Williams. I think he can better be suited as a guard and take over for Brandon Brooks. And then Earl Thomas sitting here at free safety. It's an upgrade over Jalen Mills. So in our final draft, free agency, actually, we'll start there. We missed on Jonah Williams, so we brought in Cody Ford, formerly the Buffalo Bills. He's going to slot in there at guard. I think actually he's a great fit for the Philadelphia Eagles. And then the defensive side of things, we pretty much kept it as is. We kept it as is. We got Earl Thomas. Oh, yeah. We got an X factor. Don't worry about it. Looking at our draft. This is our final draft of real players. We got Jalen Carter, 5-star recruit from Georgia, 76 overall D tackle, hidden dev trait to come play alongside Mr. Fletcher Cox. Outside of that, we got Curtis Jacobs from Penn State, Cooper Mays from Tennessee. I mean, lots of 60s. It was a solid draft for the most part, but obviously a lot's going to fall on the shoulders of Jalen Carter, whether or not this draft class, that only really has 1 year to make an impact, going to be a success or not. Oh, why am I surprised? At the end of we were 5-2 at the halfway point. I was like, there's no way. We were... Carson Wentz down year. Miles Sanders was fine. 1,000 yards for Rambo. Camus, big year. Fletcher Cox, huge year. Carter's our rookie, 22 TFLs. Looking like the next god. What's he? 82 superstar after end of 1 season. Jalen Ramsey finally did something. It only took till he's almost 30 to have a big year for the Philadelphia Eagles. Pretty much non-existent, even though he's like the big reason of this rebuild. I mean, we got a Super Bowl. It's a successful rebuild. I'm still more so pissed off that Carson Wentz, no matter what you do, will not play well in the sim or develop well in the sim. Where's the X factor, man? We got countless awards. What do we got here? Made a couple Pro Bowls, Player of the Week, Player of the Year. He definitely, they don't track all. I can guarantee you he has at least 4 to 5 Players of the Week. What the hell is this? Career stats since we had him. I mean, 40 plus touchdowns here, back-to-back years. Doesn't go in dev trade after winning Super Bowl MVP, Offensive Player of the Year. It is what it is, man. Hey, we won a Super Bowl. They can't hold us down on that. We won a Super Bowl. We went up against the great, powerful Dallas Cowboys and somehow lived to tell a story about how we got our second franchise Super Bowl. So, you know, it's not all doom and gloom. But I will let you guys know this. You guys can choose what rebuild we're going to do next weekend. I'm going to do whatever is the most voted or commented or up-liked, whatever you want to do in the comments. Squad, I will choose to do them next weekend for our rebuild. On this video, guys, if we can break 3,000 likes, that would be amazing. That would be huge. I would greatly appreciate it. And that'll do it for me today. Hope you guys are enjoying your football Saturday. Right now, while I was recording, I was watching Oklahoma, Texas. Absolute snooze fest. Hopefully, LSU, Florida. My Gators can get the job done, even though I'm kind of worried right now. But that does it for me. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Money I'm spending, I'm out and I'm shopping. You talking that shit when you talking and talking. Look at my options, look at me dropping. Ass in the game like who are you stopping? Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. I'm way too clever.